The
All
screen.
right.
Here we
Hey,
go.
everybody. Good to see all
Morning.
of you.
We have
All
a lot
right.
to cover in 30 minutes, and we'll record this. So you'll all get this, and it's meant for you to be able to share with your implementers. So if we can hit the record button, if we aren't already.
Yeah, and we need to let the rest of the guests in. Ella, I don't know how to do that. It says 35 not joined, so I don't have the ability to admit them.
Yeah, I have admitted them and it's already recording.
Yep,
Yeah,
those are just people invited, Rich.
got it.
Okay, cool. So without further ado, we're going to dive right in just because we have more than 30 minutes of content to cover. And yeah, Rich and I are going to keep this conversation going into July because there are a lot of results that you can get from social media. And of course, anyone that's been hearing about the success of KW West Atlanta, their net 300 agents over the last year and a half, Rich. Isn't that amazing?
Wow. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so to get into it, you guys all, just to remind you guys, you all have the social media playbook. So if you are thinking, hey, Jess, this sounds great and all, but my team isn't up to speed on social media, this is a time where you guys all need to level up as a group to understand the basics of social media. So if you're there and you need to level up, and that's what Gabby would have you start with, is we want to remind you that you have these books in your KW Connect library, and we're now on version 3. So if you downloaded a copy of the social media playbook at some point, make sure you have the most current version. And again, you can get that through KW Connect. Now, the question I want you to start asking yourselves as a market center and as a leader personally on your personal, how do you guys look on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram? The average consumer today is spending 2 hours and 31 minutes on those channels every day. And if we look into data around salespeople, those numbers are usually much higher. And so, just getting off a call with Gabby with the Worldwide and learning all that they're doing in their office to get 8+ leads a day. First, it starts with being on those channels and also looking good on those channels. Okay, so that would be the first question you want to ask yourself. Where's our gap there? Second of all, this is about results. So Rich and I have always believed in beta testing what we share, not just sharing like a one-trick pony, because there's plenty of shiny things that you guys can follow. So we want you to know we've been beta testing this for a while now, haven't we, Rich? How long?
Yep.
I mean, February is kind of when we really got serious, to be honest with you. So it's been a couple months, and yet what we're going to share with you today in the hack has given us really phenomenal numbers. So this is today. This is our Facebook Meta Business Suite. And this is Facebook over the last 90 days for me. Look at my reach. Can you guys see what that says? It's up 750%. My views are up 278%. I have not spent $1 on boosting this year. This is all organic. Interactions up 41%. Website visits, which is really big, 188. So first things first, we weren't going to share this until we had this dialed in. This is me just following what we're going to share with you today. So feel free to ask questions. And yet this is a process of you just getting more and more dialed in. And it starts with, hey, do you even have a YouTube channel? Right? Do you even know what the login is? Right? If not, maybe it's time to take a step back and just kind of evaluate. So just keep that in mind. And this is not about perfection. If you listen to Gabby, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of what she shared over the next couple calls, she'd be like, it's better to start with one video a week done well today than anything, and just improve as you go along. However, as you're doing this, as a leader, go with your leadership team and look at your results once a week. How are you trending? Are you being effective? And ultimately, are you getting leads, right? Because this is only good if you're having results and leads. Now, to get leads, it's a really simple formula. You have to ask for them. And if you actually go and self-reflect and look at your last 20 posts, they probably lack a clear call to action or ask or way you're driving them to a link to a whatever. So a real simple formula I want you to think about in all your communication, both digitally in a video or in the description next to the video, is hook, a few talking points, and a call to action. So if I go to your next post, there's got to be a hook. Now, a hook in the video could even be an image. Like it could be a clickable image where I'm like, not like, like making it look like click that, right? That's one way to have a clickable image or a hook. But it's also the title and it's the words you lead with. So for an example, I'm going to give a very basic example, and this is somewhere I've definitely changed my game. I used to say, hey, it's Jessica Fox with Keller Williams Clearwater, right? New video is like, if you want to learn how the top listers are negotiating price reductions, join us for this mastermind where 5 agents are sharing 5 different approaches. This is open to all agents, and DM me below for free tickets or click this link for more information. That's me following that versus what I used to do and because you literally have 3 seconds. That's it. You actually get extra credit with the algorithm if you get beyond 3 seconds. Isn't that insane? So when you look at results, leads is obviously your goal in all of this. If you don't have call to actions, you get no results. You get no leads. If you're not getting leads, I'd challenge you to go listen to your message and your descriptor to make sure that you're following that formula, okay? Now, if you go over to Gabby Maddox and just go look at what she does, it always follows this formula. Now, you already have this in your inbox. You've already been sent this. If you need it again, just reach out to us and we'll send it to you again. We'll also repost it to Facebook in our group page. But there are 4 weeks that we have put together so that you could literally hand this to anyone you need to implement this for you without having to guide them on what to do. And what we've done is weaved in between the weeks best practices that we're just going to cover briefly. Now, you do not need to follow this template. However, we're sharing it in 3 versions: a JPEG, a PDF, and direct from Canva for you to make a copy. So if you guys already have a good flow, stay with what you're doing. Don't disrupt what's working, but you can use that to give to whoever your implementer is to develop a content calendar 2-3 weeks ahead of you so that you as a leader could meet with them maybe just even 2 times a month to have the plan in place. This doesn't have to become a big old job. The other part, if you lead like that, is your content creator, instead of every day spending an hour messing around, creating, editing, and posting, they can create just one good thing a week that they post throughout the different channels, like the Rory Vaden model we've all heard of. That is so much better to do than to just go try to follow something like this calendar, okay? So be where you're at. If you only have one person on your team that's able to do this, do one thing well a week. Take the time to put the hashtags in. Take the time to make sure there's a call to action. Follow these things we say, and then pepper it out throughout the week on different channels, okay? So I'm just going to dive in a little bit further into this. Couple things. You'll see that there's not just training all the time. You got to balance it out with different things on different things. The beginning of the month, you probably do an anniversary post. That could be a group post where you tag everybody on one image. And you could post that not only as a post, but a story. Now, we're going to push you to use video over a static image or what you might call an infographic whenever possible, because infographics aren't clickable. Movement or multiple videos or just a short reel are going to be much better, and yet you got to keep everything 30 to 90 seconds. We talked about having a hook, having 1 to 2 points that you share and a call to action to lead everything you do off. And if you have a trainer that's coming in, ask them to make a promo video versus you, the team leader, that's inviting, because that'll go further. So that's just a couple quick things. And I want to just check in with you guys and see if you have any questions that you want me to back up to or dive into. Let me just check in with you guys. How do you feel? Are we good? Okay, let's keep rolling. Now, on week 2, what you'll see is we've just changed it up. Training's now on Monday and Thursday, not Tuesday and Friday. It's really about peppering things out so that you're on different channels like Facebook or Instagram at different times with different things, because we're creatures of habits. So post on all of your channels at different times, and you will get in front of 100 times more people than if you just follow your own rhythm, because your rhythm matches maybe 10% of your people's rhythms. Now, I don't know about you guys. I am early morning for just a little bit, and really sometimes not, and then late nighter. When do you guys go on social media? Throughout the day?
Throughout the day?
Yeah. Well, some people you ask, they're like, when I'm waiting in line for my kid after school, I sit there for an hour, 45 minutes. Everybody's different. So it's just like a database. So that's a really important thing to make sure that you not only are taking advantage of, but that you're sharing that. Now, post on command scheduler. It's killer. I think it's better than Hootsuite. And that's how you could literally have your front desk or your agent services or one person in your world make one thing good, and then literally kind of book it out throughout all your different channels at different times of the day, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, and you can get that all done right there. And little things like agent birthdays, you may have 3 birthdays in one day, right? I mean, I know we do at Clearwater. Things like, hey, please welcome. You may have 4 people in one day join, please welcomes, right? For those types of posts, those are so important, but it's better for you to post them as a story than as a post or a reel. Because again, it kind of gums up that page of yours, which is like your recruiting landing page, right? So think of like, yeah, that stuff's important, but it's not, it's really for stories. Now, same thing with your agents. You want to educate your agents to use your hashtag with everything. So let's just say Rich is one of our agents and he just scored this killer luxury beach listing. You should see where he lives. It's beautiful. Well, you guys are Cali too. You guys know it's beautiful. So here's the thing. If I've taught Rich to always include our office hashtag and it's popping up, we're going to throw him in our stories. We're not going to post that. We're going to show it in our stories. And what does that do? That makes Rich feel very recognized and cared for. And that's a great retention tool. Now, Gabby shared that's more than a retention tool in her model. How they've gone so viral isn't because they knew the reconnect hack. In fact, I shared that with her, so she's trying that next. It's that they did it organically through their own agents' connections. So she did this all in 1 year. This isn't because they've been there for 6 years. Nope, 1 year. She started using social media 1 year ago. So all of us could be doing this quickly. And yet that's an element to make sure. So again, it goes back to the OP and the team leader following the right people, right? So again, make sure you're using stories when it's appropriate. And that would be, again, other people's posts that you're tagged in and agents' birthdays. If you haven't checked out the scheduler in Command, it does everything you need. And Ella, my assistant, is going to put in the chat a little video for you guys to watch later on how to use it so that you know how to. Week 3, again, just mixing it up. This week we have one training on Wednesday and a lot of recognition. Again, monthly events can be done in one group post. And then for recognition, something just to be mindful of, you may want to be clear on what's appropriate in terms of who should be acknowledged. Is it just the lead agent, or do you want to recognize the team members? And that's something for that agent to decide. And then the last thing I'll mention is content should be balanced. You don't want to look like happy birthdays and please welcomes. And I'm going to be clear, Clearwater, I looked at, we look like we celebrate a lot of birthdays, but we weren't even posting our trainings. You know why? Because the person that did that isn't in that role any longer, and we have a gap. And you guys, we all are vulnerable at market centers like that, aren't we? Right? So, post transmittal, do you guys have like a meeting around this to talk about your weeks? What do you got going on this month? What are your big trainings that you're going to focus on? What do you have regionally that you should even market? And then, let your person lead with that. So again, for you as a market center, you want like a balanced content. You don't want all birthdays and all trainings. You want to be balanced. So a great way of looking at it is like 1/3 event promo, right? Because we got a lot of trainings, we got a lot of events. 1/3 winning moments of your office, of recognition, of your agents, and then 1/3 of you guys in action, maybe even fun stuff, comedy, entertainment. And yet for an agent, that might be 1/3 real estate, 1/3 community or niche, and then 1/3 entertainment. So again, that balance is important, okay? Beyond that, I want you to remember that in that social media book, they even have screenshots in the KW code book and the social media book on exactly what to do. So if you're not the best at social media and you're the leader, don't be the lid. Get your team, your implementers, trained up. Let them go take the classes on social media. If you go to KW Connect, and I'm just going to jump off my quick jump off the Canva for 1 sec. And I just want to show you this for those of you that might watch this later that don't know this, because I think here you know this. But when you log into Command, if you can log in and click on Connect and hit Browse All, they organized so neatly everything at your fingertips. So go check this out. This is fantastic. You can also just go search like social media. And the beauty of it is your leadership team could take some of these classes. These are best practices. These are really winning ideas. And again, there's your social media version 3 playbook, or you go into Connect and just hit Browse All, go down to Market of the Moment, and then here's all your playbooks, including, drum roll, that code book. So the code book you have for leadership and agent, and that's going to show you step by step how to do like Facebook ads, how to use your tools. And so just don't be the lid just because you don't understand it. Make sure your implementers are empowered to have this at their fingertips so they can be rocking it for you. It's just food for thought. And then again, they even give you suggestions on how you might interact and, be a really effective follower. Okay. So I want to stop there and just check in before I jump into the hack. Many of you have already seen the hack, but I also have Gabby's coaching questions she'd have you start with. So let me just check in. Is there any questions at all? Anything, Rich, that you want to put a pin on or bring up or talk around before I?
Yeah, I mean, I think the testimonial piece where you're talking about wins in the market center, whatever. Remember that that you can get a lot of mileage for just your recruiting presentations and so forth by agent success stories. So I would really focus on, finding out like who are the 5 agents, the 10 agents that if I spent some time and I talked with them, that I looked at their production this year, that I could create a win around and put that in some sort of a sentence or two for a testimonial. So and so took 3 listings in 12 days because of that. So and so, grossed $48,000 in commissions in the last 30
Those are
days
those
because of
winning
that.
moments. Those are those
Yeah.
winning moments. You almost need to, as a group in one of your huddles, productivity coach, everyone involved, saying who are our winning stories, and give them the assignment like, hey, productivity coach, get us that video, like make it happen. That's kind of where you got to get it to.
Yeah, and the thing is you can use that's multifaceted, right? So now you can use it for the social media posting, but now they don't have shelf life. So now I can use that in my
Well,
recruiting
now you can also
presentations.
go into, and that's going to go into next training, guys, is getting into YouTube where you store all this in your library and it has forever shelf life. So there's a lot more to this than what we're getting in today. And yet I want to just dive back in, and then I want to share with you the lead flow that she shared with us today. So here are the questions Gabby would ask you again. Are you following your ALC, the top agents in your office, top agents outside of your office? And ask yourself these questions. We're going to give you this so you can literally make this a homework assignment for yourself. And the things I'd add to you to add to that are, okay, and what channels are you on? Because you're expected to have a YouTube channel. You're expected to have a public facing Facebook page. You're expected also to have that on Instagram. Those are general expectations. If you're not competing. And then who are you competing with? How do you look? How do you look? So add those questions to Gabby's when kind of evaluating where you're at. And it's really about starting, not perfection. What one good video could you make this week that you could then use that Rory Vaden model and this command scheduler with the help of front desk or MCA or whomever to do that? That's really questions I'd ask you. Okay, I'm gonna end with some best practices, and yet the challenge I'm gonna give you is give yourself a little audit. Like, how is my digital curb appeal? Who am I competing with? Search keywords. How do you look? Are you missing any channels like YouTube, for example? And figure out where you're at. And then the hack, which I'm just gonna quick share and then dive into best practices. The hack, we're having Ella put the video in chat so that you guys can just watch it later. But I'm just gonna role play it real quick because it's so simple. You're gonna go from your office's Instagram page or your my leadership page, whoever I'm trying to influence here or bring attention to. So it would be KW Clearwater if I was being a team leader. And I'm going to search for top agents in the market that I want to be in business with, or make sure I'm following some key people. So Sandy Papadakis, I don't know if I'm following her. She's a top agent that was Remax, and I recruited her to KW. And guess what? I'm not even following her. She's one of my best recruits. So I'm going to follow her. Now, in this, no, she's a bad example because now she's got to let me. So let me go find somebody else. Let's search. I'll do Rich. Rich Rector. I think I'm following you. There you are. Oh
Okay.
my God, I'm not even following you. See, isn't this a good lesson? And I'm even tagged in pictures with you. Look at that. Isn't that funny? Now, here's part 1, follow. Shame on me, right? Part 2, in a post they've recently done in the last 7 days or less, and look at this, 4 days old, so this will work. I want to comment on this. And it has to be 5 words or more plus one emoji. And I'm gonna put the agents that decide to go all in on bold will be the top agents for 2025. There we go, something cool like that. I'll do like a heart emoji and hit post. Now, that's the hack. Really not that big of a deal. And yet it took a few minutes. And some people you realize aren't even on Instagram, and some people haven't posted in 18 weeks. So that doesn't work. But the people that are, which are the people you're going for, which are top agents, guess what? They're very active. You're going to then be sticky with for a while. Now, you saw our numbers. 783% increase in my reach. Truth is, Rich and I haven't done much besides the hack with 188 individuals. So Rich, that's all we've done to get that. And yet we're riding this wave because look at, we're up and up and up and up and up. It's just going and going and going. And yet that's what you as a team leader need to inspect what you expect. So you've got to give this to your implementers to go implement. This is not necessarily your job. You might participate and help in some ways. This is not your whole role. You've got to let this get implemented. So I'm going to just share a few more best practices. I want to make sure whoever's listening to this hears. And then, like I said, Rich and I are going to keep this conversation going because it's a hot topic. So again, post on all of your channels at different times of the day to really maximize this up, because people with social media habits. You know, get the night people, get the daytime people, get the people on Facebook, get the people on Instagram, you know, all the different channels. Consider posting important messages on all of the channels. So if you really crush a video, make sure it's on everything, peppered throughout the week, a different channel every day. Daily events, we talked about such birthdays, welcomes, and reposts. Make those stories, not posts. And monthly things that you can do all together, do it all together like anniversaries. Otherwise, it's kind of obnoxious. I mean, some of you have offices where in 1 month you have 60 people with an anniversary. For recognition, be mindful of giving everyone the right amount of recognition and not leaving anybody out, like such as teams. Run a balanced approach so you don't look like you're just an event team. You know, show recognition, show your winning moments, but also don't be so hyper competitive that you look like you're a dominant egomaniac. I've seen that happen as well. That is not kumbaya enough. You need to soften things. Make sure every post moving forward includes a call to action if you intend to receive leads. And things, it's not just about looking good online, it's about looking at your metrics every week or so and asking yourself, how many leads are receiving and how are we tracking this? So double dog dare you guys, check yourself out online, give yourself a little audit, turn on the channels that are being left out, reconnect through that engagement hack we just showed you, and get started. One thing a week. And for those of you that really want to dial it in and you want to give that to an implementer, give them our 4 weeks because they can go ahead and just implement. Okay. So questions. I know we're right at time, so I knew I had to go fast.
No, this is great. I mean, I love it. You know, this is actually my agent services slash director of agent services slash assistant MCA, director of operations, Daisy.
You're the perfect person, Daisy, to be part of this. So we're happy that you're here.
Yeah, so we're excited. I mean, definitely gonna implement this. Obviously, you follow me on social media, so we already do a lot of this already, but the other ideas that we can definitely implement here. So I'm excited. I mean, for me and Daisy, it's like let's share with the world of what we're doing and the consistency. Like when you look at our stuff, it's like posted an hour ago, not posted March 14th. You know what I mean? Like we've recruited people
That
on our
scheduler,
social media because of
Daisy,
that.
is actually better than Hootsuite too, and it's free. But here's one thing I would look at, Kier. I don't think your call to actions are really, I bet you that's your gap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
and just go back and look at like your last 15 posts and be like, what was my call to action? Be like, okay, if we were to be more purposeful moving forward, what is that? Now, next time, I'm going to show you how they're using ManyChat to go to a Cognito form and how
oh
that's
wow.
first. We're also going to talk about YouTube a little bit more. And I'm going to give you guys our GPS, Rich and my GPS on how to launch this to get at least 10 appointments a month at show using social media. I just want Gabby to give me her feedback on it first.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so
Keep it
much.
going, and let us
Yeah.
know how it's going. Let us hear about the results you're getting, because that's what matters is results, right, Rich?
Absolutely.
All
Cool.
right. Well, I'll see you guys in about an hour and a half.
Yes. For our other program. Yes.
Yes. All
Sounds great.
right. Thank you so